So we have all started. The party that was their previous left Hellgate Dell, realizing that they were in over their heads. They started making the journey out. Seraph, realizing that he wasn't getting anywhere in finding his family, made way on his own towards the grandfather tree. Elrond, without making much explanation, as he does, just mentioned he's going east and disappeared into the night one evening. The rest of the group started making their way towards the town of Silverymoon. You get there without any real complications, as it were.
So, as you know,
So let's start with Caradoc and Luqas. What are you doing upon entering the town?
What time of day do we enter the town?
You enter the town in mid-morning, so right around 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Just time where everything should be open and available.
Lad, shall we find an inn and get something good to eat? I've not eaten a decent meal in a long time.
Yeah, I'm starving.
All right. So the first thing we'll do then is, I guess, find an inn where we can eat in Caradoc and have some whiskey. Because, Caradoc.
Nothing like morning whiskey.
that sounds like sorrow for some reason.
Every time is a good time for whiskey. That's for sure.
So you find a inn known as the Lunar Aurora in the center of town, just off the market district. Inside of the inn, it's fairly quiet for the morning, though you do notice the strange addition of a lizard man who normally isn't in places like this, but not terribly uncommon in this area, as there are a few tribes in the Evermoors. And Robert, your tune will be there as well. I just did not look up his description.
Oh, can we say my guys, my little folks rolling bones on the table?
Okay.
Like
You're the I was about to say what are you doing? So yeah, let's go for it.
he's pretty much like rolling bones on for fortunes. See what the ancestors tells him to do.
That's a Tabaxi rogue. Oh, that's
Ooh, that is deadly.
bit better than Tabaxi monk. I'm just saying.
That is pretty deadly, especially if you go with Rogue Assassin and Gloomstalker Ranger.
Okay. So we know that Zeke is rolling the bones. What is Strixx doing?
Strix is in the darkest corner, just observing everybody.
Mr. Edlord.
All right, and so Caradoc and Luqas enter into the tavern. What do you two do now that you're here?
Find a table and call over a barmaid.
Yeah.
All right, a young maiden in her early 20s comes over. She's appears very sweet and helpful. A rusty brown hair tied in the back with a few escaping locks frame her face. She greets you both. Welcome to the Lunar Aurora. What can I get for you, gentlemen?
Your best food for me and my compatriot, and I'll toss her 2 gold pieces.
As you wish, sir. Anything to drink with that?
I'd like some whiskey, please. Some of the best you've got.
Do you
She
have cold milk?
looks at Caradoc with mild suspicion. Yes, I can do that, and we do have cold milk as well, yeah.
Milk for me, please.
She wanders off to get in the order.
Caradoc's going to be looking around the room, and I don't know. Has he ever seen? He probably has seen lizard folk.
He would have seen lizard folk, though with the experiences he's had, he would be naturally suspicious of them, though not necessarily immediately hostile.
Okay.
Because
And
the lizard folk of the Evermore's area are territorial, but not necessarily aggressively hostile. They got that worked out of them about 2 or 3 centuries ago.
okay. And he's going to notice the alligator skulls and probably look down his nose, not really, not really obviously, not with obvious disdain, but again, a wee bit suspicious. And just looking around the room, he probably would not notice the tabaxi if he's in the shadows.
No, in Caradoc, no, he would not. We're not even going to try to roll that perception.
Yeah, he wouldn't necessarily notice the tabaxi, but he's just looking around the room. And
Do I notice his disdain for the lizard guy?
You would notice that he makes a unpleasant fate. This is a kind of a weird description based on what he disordered. As if he just drank soured milk.
I chose a good character to piss people off.
It's there for just a moment, but long enough for you to notice. Caradoc has finally decided to control his facial words. Though it does take some effort.
Would Zeke see this? Notice this?
Roll perception.
17.
You would notice that he is being watched. He doesn't necessarily notice that the disgusted face is in reference to him. But he does know that he has been noticed. And sees a disgusted face, just may not necessarily put 2 and 2 together at this point.
Does he know who's watching him, or just gets the feeling someone's watching him?
I will go ahead and say that you see that the 2 people that just came in notice you, but you also, being unusual in the town, you generally have eyes on you all the time anyway.
That's true.
Lizard folk not being exactly common in civilized society.
Yeah. After seeing new people come in, he rolls his bones again to see on what ancestors say about them. favorably. They favor them.
And let me. Yes, I will go that route. Cool. Everyone roll perception for me, please.
Wait, what? Can I use my perception? I just roll or
Nope,
not
need
roll
a new
yet.
one.
Hey, I had to ask.
No, it's fair. It's fair.
Oh,
Strixx is the only one that notices you smell what smells like a fire, but not like a campfire or a cooking fire. This smells more mingled.
Can I tell where it's coming from?
The smell, no, but your ears, you also hear, off in the distance, what sounds like a fight, blade on steel.
Distance as in outside distance, or
As in edge of town distance.
okay. So Strix is very inquisitive and curious about everything.
You're gonna push things off tables too, aren't you?
Who?
Damn cats.
yeah, I hate cats so much. I hate
Shut
them.
up.
Uh,
No, I just find them annoying as hell.
So, almost trying to draw attention to myself, I push my chair back so it makes a sound, and I then walk out outside.
Everyone would have noticed that. And
watching him walk out, can I hear why he's leaving? Like, I mean, it was obvious he was leaving for a reason.
so with that, you readjust your... You become a bit more aware of your surroundings, so I'm going to use your heightened perception, your advantage perception on that. You as well start hearing the sounds of battle on the outskirts of town, and it does sound like things are starting to get closer, though not quickly.
I'll stand up at the same time, and Caradoc, I hear scrabbling outside.
Caradoc pushes his chair back, stands up, grins widely, and he says, "A fight? Let's go."
Following you, my big friend.
And I'll follow the cat.
After hearing a fight, Zeke stumbles to his feet and follows behind them with his staff, leaning on his staff, his walking stick.
Which, at this point, as you are leaving town, you'll notice that on the far edge, the side of town that Caradoc and Luqas did not come from, you start to see smoke rising at the edge, and you can tell rather quickly what the commotion is. There appears to be a fight that has broken out. You can't quite tell who the people are yet.
Caradoc's going to break into a run toward the fight to find out what's going on, and then he's going to Theoladir is out and ready. He's not going to wield it just yet until he finds out, until he can discover who's who in the fight.
At that, I'll bring out the mace and my shield and kind of back him up.
So I am going to stealth.
Fucking
And-
rogues.
And I'm going to climb up on top of the nearest building and see if I can get a better visual.
Give me a new perception, please.
Is that all of us who are getting closer?
Yes, please.
Or... Okay.
The smoke must be getting in my eyes.
Ooh, I got a new one. That's good. I'm the one who sees it.
Okay, because of your... roll me a second perception there. Because of your height, you're going to be getting advantage on this.
Okay.
And there's no way it can be worse, so...
Oh, just watch.
Only,
It's
only
equally-
slightly better.
Just a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, he critically failed the first one, so it can't be worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless
Um,
he rolls it again.
That wouldn't be worse, it'd be the same. Anyway. That being what it is. So, Zeke, Lucas, and Strixx, because of his vantage point, would all see this. It appears to be an orc raiding party.
Caradoc, it's orcs.
Am I
Let's
native?
go! And I just
Am I native
charge right into
to
the
this
battle.
land?
Where is
GM,
your
am I
tribe
native
from?
to- let's say Evermore. I mean
Then
Evermore.
The Evermores? Yeah. Okay, so then you would be native to the land. You would know that orc raids down here are uncommon.
This is strange. Orcs in these lands. I just heard unheard of.
Caradoc hears nothing. Bonus action rage and just going to go right toward the nearest orc that I can see. Caradoc hates orcs.
I knew that was going to happen.
Surprise, surprise.
And surprise, surprise, GM even knew. I guess Zeke would also follow behind. Because he could-
Noticing three others heading into the fray, I am going to continue on top of the buildings, keeping an eye on the individuals that are running into.
And before Caradoc runs off, before he even rages, I want to cast Shield of Faith on him.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
What does that do?
Gives you +2 to your AC.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
All right. I'm not sure why it's not letting me put this.
I'm still on the world map.
You are correct.
We ain't here.
Okay.
So I was
Can you
trying to
ping to where we're at? Or move my map to where we're at.
Yeah, I'm doing that now. I was trying to set things up before I did that, but no, it didn't want.
All right, you're good.
It didn't want you to.
Well, like I said,
Oh, that'll work.
Okay, where are we?
Well, give him a minute. It's not exactly easy to set up a map unless you've done it previous to the game.
yeah. And the other thing is yeah, it's still not letting me drop the monster tokens I want. And I know I can.
Well, I don't know which map you're on, or I could help you. But
It's a town map now.
Yeah. So you've all come out of the tavern where Zeke has dropped himself. Fine, I'll do it this way. Not the door. When I want, I'll just do it the hard way. Or it won't. You're going to want to stop moving at that point.
Yeah, I was just making sure he was on the building. He was watching us run up there. Zeke was behind, so we'd be in front of everybody.
oh, I see. Okay, I wasn't able to see it. I had to click on it. So okay, now I'm there.
Are you still in as a GM or as a player?
I should go as a player.
Yeah, rejoin as a player, and that way when I change the map, it'll change it for you. Not that I haven't done that before, but I've done that before.
I'll actually move back a little bit because he'll be in front of me.
Okay. Let me do a couple things here. Sorry about that, fellas. Okay, let me.
Oh, no issue.
That's what I get for having GM status all the time. All right, and
I hear.
There we go. Now it wants me to do it.
come on, what's going on?
Fuck is 14.
Oh, fucking roll 20. Come on. Okay, let me do this again. I gotta. Wasn't letting me drop my token or anything, so.
Yes, same issue. Same issue.
Okay, there's my token. Yeah, I just had to refresh, and it pisses me off that I had to do that. But anyway.
All right, if you're there, I'd be there.
Yeah, I just dropped it just to drop it. I wasn't really. All right.
Well, placement still kind of works out because I mean we'd be the first ones closest to the scuffle.
Yeah. Okay, what is this? Is this Zeke here?
Yes.
Okay. Uncle Caradoc really hates orcs.
And roll for initiative.
Remember to click your tokens.
Please and thank you.
My old
Natural
DM always
20, nice.
My old DM always kept getting me on that a lot.
It makes life easier with it.
Look, all three of us rolled 19!
That's a really good initiative. Damn.
Yeah. Are we bet scary?
I don't know. We have a barbarian. How tall are you?
Me? 6'3", I think.
A 6'3" barbarian, a 6-foot lizard folk druid, a tabaxi that's on the roof, and
Oh, that's what I get for not looking at it beforehand.
who else do we have? I forget. They're pretty intimidating.
Okay, that's right.
Wow. They're dead. They're so dead.
All right, Caradoc, you're up.
All right, so I'm going to this one right here. Great Weapon Master. Reckless Attack, and of course I've already raged.
Surprise, surprise.
God damn it. Are you kidding me?
Why are those negative?
Because when he Great Weapon Masters, it takes 5 from the attack
Yeah.
to hit.
Wow.
Ah.
But it pluses 10 to the damage.
I'm
That's right.
Going to strike again, my extra attack.
That is definitely
That's
a hit.
better. So that's 21, 32, 33.
How would you like to kill him?
I'm just going to slice him in half. I don't care how. He's just going to be sliced in half.
Vertical or horizontal?
How about diagonally?
Okay. So you slice through him with one sweeping motion after catching him off guard with your feint, quote unquote. He does get cleaved in twain, sliding apart. The orcs definitely have taken notice of you now.
And now I'm going to just move right up to this one. And just glare at him. And that's the end of my turn.
Strixx.
So I'm still stealth on the roof. Let's that's 60 feet. Let's see here. Oh yeah, well within range. So I'm going to Psychic Blades with the sneak attack since I'm stealth up on the roof.
And which
that's
one
gonna
were you
be
attacking?
Back here.
This guy?
Yep.
Alright. That is a hit.
As they
13.
see purplish blades just pop out of nowhere and stab. And as a bonus action, they will attack again. doesn't get sneak attack this time.
Okay. And that is also a hit. Same guy, right?
Yep.
Cool. The orc growls and yells after getting hit. All right, Lucas.
I'll close the distance to this guy. Swing my mace at him.
That is a miss.
Okay. Not for long.
I like not for long.
Hopefully not for long. Bonus action. Spiritual weapon. Probably still a miss.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Yeah, that's a miss.
But it's there.
Okay. Floating spiritual weapon. Is that your turn?
Yep.
All right. Zeke.
Now you're quiet. I can't hear a word you're saying.
Sorry, my mic was up.
Well done, that one. Explain it.
Zeke comes up here and yells to the sky, "Great ancestors of the sea, drown these barbarians." And from right here, a giant wave emerges. And I'm sorry, but everyone there must make a dex save. It's 10 feet across, 30 feet wide. Ah, they don't go prone. Ha. Oh, that's nice.
So the only guys you fucked up is your own men, almost.
Oh no, these two orcs failed.
Yeah, 2 orcs
Those
failed.
2 orcs.
The rest,
Those who failed go prone?
well, one of them just died.
Thankfully, I'm raging, so I only take half damage, and I'm resistant, so I take half of that as well.
I'm sorry.
That was a fucking stupid ass move.
Oh, you don't even know how stupid it was. All
Yeah,
right.
because now they have advantage of attacks on me.
Yep.
The orc stands back up, pulls the horn that is on his hip and blows it, signaling a call. He then takes his javelin and hurls it at the lizard folk. Or takes one of his javelins and hurls it at the lizard folk.
And misses.
Throw the second one. Just well, because he apparently got stuck. Keep in mind, I wouldn't be laughing because you just made enemies of two people you haven't talked to because they got caught in your tidal wave.
Oh shit! Why did I have this habit of being pissed off at me?
Well, you probably should think things through a little bit further. Alright, and right thing.
I like that you're using the red X's now.
Well, yeah. I hadn't played with the little markings on there. That just makes more sense.
Yep.
Alright, so this guy... Yeah. Yeah, I'll see that. That dick. So first thing that he's going to do is throw Veil of Shigaris onto the druid, because he still can't see Strixx up there.
Wait,
So-
what?
The druid is surrounded in a magical veil of darkness. He can't see.
I knew I should have took the spell magic.
And that's all that he can do this round because, oh, that's it. And he will actually hide because I can do the bonus action. Oh, yeah. No one's passive is higher than 22, correct? For perception?
No,
Ah.
mine is so low.
Mine's
Actually,
15.
It's not really that low. My
Well,
passive
actually,
is
no, mine's
18.
28.
Yours is 28?
Yep.
Okay. When you stand up next turn, you would be able to see him.
Okay.
But seeing as how you're currently face down at the dirt,
Yeah.
By the way, how much damage did I take from that fucking tidal wave?
11.
Okay, and then half of 11 because I'm resistant.
No,
is-
that is the...
No. Yeah, that
Oh.
would be half.
It was 22 damage, and then half for the tidal wave. So that's 11.
Okay, all right.
I already did the math for you. Early in the morning.
Okay.
Hey, it could be worse. It could have been a broom.
Yeah, that's true.
Brick, yeah, no problem with Brick. Brick can't touch me. Broom fucking tries to kill me. Yeah, a little salty
I just
about that
imagine
stuff.
the broom just coming to life and slapping you against the head, and you fall into the ground, and it's like,
See-
nope, stay down.
And I never liked the little brooms in Fantasia either, and now I've got a bigger reason to hate them. Fucking lazy ass Mickey.
That's the reason why Cass only uses vacuums.
Yeah, pretty much. And Swiffers. No problem with Swiffer. We're good. Little dust mops, happy there. Wisp broom, fuck that shit. Alright, so the last remaining fort. I well, wait. Okay, yeah. Since Caradoc's been knocked down and he's not too bright, he assumes that Caradoc is dead, So instead, he is going to run in, knowing what happened to the orc, or sorry, the lizard. He comes in and attacks with the great axe at the blinded druid.
Do I get
Wait,
an opportunity attack?
You are still prone,
Okay.
You're still
so you
prone.
would not.
Okay.
wait,
All right.
wait. Does he even see? Can he even see?
The orc? Yes.
Wait, what?
He can see, you can't.
No, it says darkness, not blindness.
Yeah. He knows where you are. He knows how the spell works that the Veil of Shigaris is. And prior to the attack, the Red Fang of Shigaris was able to make sure that everyone there had Shigaris' sight, so magical darkness does not impede the orc's dark vision as they're coming in.
Shit. Oh, fuck.
So he gets an
Still
advantage.
doesn't hit.
He gets it at advantage. 14.
Ah. Matches.
That's 11. Maybe rethink about pissing off an entire group of orcs right off the bat. Pissing. And that brings us to Caradoc.
Okay, spending half my movement to move up. That puts me there where I can get close enough to attack the orc. And going to, again, rage, reckless attack, great weapon master. Extra attack, again. Let's say 17 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hit.
That's
The first one barely missed. That's dead. He did.
okay.
He did.
Then, well, I can't do any more movement, so I'm going to stand before the lizard folk and say, "You feckin' bastard! You're next!" And that's the end of my turn.
Strixx!
So Strixx is gonna try and determine where the other guy went.
Give me a perception. And you cannot tell exactly where he is, so you know that the footprints led away from Lucas. He is somewhere in this around where Caradoc and Beak is, so you can't tell for sure in the heat of
Okay.
battle.
All right. Not being able to determine his location, I will continue my attack, raising my hands, summoning a psychic blade. At the guy.
And
Jesus,
that is a hit. Is that still sneak attack or no?
Yes, unless he has noticed me on the roof.
Yeah, no. So yeah, he is out of the picture. psychic blades pierce, and he lets out one mournful scream and falls to his knees before slumping onto the ground. Okay, Lucas.
Well, I'll stand up. Where do I see that guy?
Have you turned towards where Caradoc ran?
Oh yeah, I'm looking back at the jackass that fucking sent that wave at me.
Then yes, you see him.
Okay, I'm gonna send my spiritual weapon over there to attack him.
Okay. That is a hit. And okay.
And then I'm gonna send a guiding bolt into that shroud of Sargos or whatever the fuck it's called.
Okay. That's a fair assumption, assuming the lizard folk is, attacking you. Does a 10 hit you?
No.
No.
Okay.
Wait, the spirit weapon hits me?
Not the spirit weapon,
No.
just the guiding bolt.
And that's it for me.
I can't see, can I?
Nope. You would have to roll a perception to see if... Sorry, not perception. You'd have to roll a wisdom save to see if you can break through the magical darkness. You do not.
Wait, what? With a 15?
An 18 DC.
Shit. That's high power. That's a high spell.
Yup.
We are level 5.
And
Can I make... What?
and these guys are a little bit more oomph than your average Red Fang of
Yeah.
Shargas.
Can I... feel any enemy, like, make a perception
Give me a perception.
to maybe
Oh, you can
hear...
rely on you right now.
So, you heard a strike next to you, and you heard someone die in front of you, and you heard Caradoc scream. If you would like to make an attack, you can. It will be at disadvantage over here, and it would be at extreme disadvantage if you try to do anything else.
I am gonna take the attack to my... Hold on. Mm.
And so Lucas's passive is 28, yes?
Yep.
Anyone else have a passive higher than 20?
No.
No.
I'm gonna
Okay.
take out my scimitar and attack to the sound to my right. Wow. Yeah, that's my turn.
Yeah,
Hello?
even without advantage, you didn't make it.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So that would be he did. He did.
He lives.
And no. Him. All right. So the orc that had just been discovered from hiding. He's going to
Question
use.
on that, just out of my curiosity. Once
Yes.
I hit him with my spiritual weapon, does he like pop up? Like, can everybody see him?
Yes,
Okay.
except for Zik because darkness.
Yeah.
Zeke.
Yeah.
His main name may be Zeke, but he sure is acting like a Zik. He's going to get attacked twice with the scimitar. That's not going to help him. Oh, yeah, he's locked on both those rolls. And then he will attempt to hide once again. And
Oh, you're hiding this. Never mind.
yeah, I'm hiding these. In case I need to do other GM shit with this. Because shit's about to get really real. And I don't want to PPK everybody just because of stupidity. That being said, he attempts to hide and fails miserably. Everybody still sees him. Except for Zeke.
Well, yeah. Hmm.
Alright. Caradoc. You see the Red Fang of Shagaroth.
Mm-hmm.
Roll a perception for me, please.
$16.
Okay. You see the sphere of darkness before you where you knew the lizard man was.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know exactly where he is.
All right.
What's
Piss
that noise?
going to
I
Move
think it's Jeff
forward.
typing.
going to move forward and cleave toward the lizard man because I'm pretty pissed.
Okay. This will be at disadvantage.
That's a 10.
Nope.
That's a 5. God damn it. I want to kill that fucker.
I don't blame you after that one. I'd be
Um,
kind of murderous on that too.
So, and then I'm going to step back away. Mobile feet. I don't provoke an attack of opportunity by stepping away. I think I'll step there.
Okay. And that's the end of your turn, yes?
Yeah, that'll end my turn. And I'm gonna go get some coffee while the rest of you are battling. I'll be right back.
All right, Strixx. Roll another perception for me, please.
Absolutely. $21.
Perfect. You see two more, and you hear more orcs coming in.
Okay. I still don't want to draw attention to myself.
And their perception has been lower than shit, especially because they think this. So far, everyone fighting thinks that the magical mind darts are coming from Lucas.
I'm still gonna stealth, and
Quite effectively.
I'm going to attack this one. This time with more purple blades.
That is a hit.
And no sneak attack for that.
Yeah. So that puts us at 20. Am I mathing that right?
Yeah, 22.
Awesome. And is that your turn?
I'm going to move over to this side so that I have more of a vantage on this road in case something does start heading down there.
Fair?
How'd he jump in front of me on turn order? I thought I went before him.
He did. Sorry, I just randomized that stuff. Because when I put the other two red orcs in, I readjusted, and then they had to go through. Thank you for catching that, because, well, I didn't pay attention to the turn order. It is your turn, though, Lucas.
Alright. Sorry, Caradoc, you back?
What's that?
Are you
Yeah, I'm
back?
back.
Okay. Sorry, but I'm dropping my concentration on your spell, and I am going to cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay.
No fairs.
And I will move up and hit everybody I can within a 15-foot radius around me. So it'd be to here, 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 and here.
So
Okay.
you hit everyone but the.
I
the
know.
backseat.
Everybody but Caradoc, because I can target people
Yeah.
that I don't want to hit.
Because Caradoc is viewed as friendly, I'm assuming based on the attack you're viewing Zeke as a hostile.
Yeah, because we ain't talked. I don't even know who he is.
Yeah, I just want to clarify.
And you can select your token and make it have an aura while that's up.
Oh, how you do that?
So go click on your token, click on the cog,
Okay.
and then set aura. And you can
Okay.
set the feat and what it is, a square or a circle.
Holy crap.
That's awesome. And he saved. But everybody else that don't save takes 3d8 damage.
Okay.
I
Oh,
saved.
Yeah, but you take half that damage.
Roll the damage while I'm doing the save.
It's not letting me click that, so I just roll.
It already
3d8.
did. It said.
So 17.
17.
Yeah, it helps I pay attention to it.
And damage is rounded down, right? So that'd be.
Yes, damage is
Hey.
rounded down.
All right, so you did good on the Orc, that's a damn orc.
Spirit guardians, they're scary. They're scary
Oh, yeah,
bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah, we dealt with that in Tyranny of Dragons, right?
Yes, we did.
Oh yeah.
I think Skladba almost went down twice with them.
Yeah.
Really close. Really goddamn close. Alright, that puts us in with Zeke now.
Wisdom save.
Yep. Unless you just want to be flying. It's up to you. Yep, still didn't hit that
God
18.
Damn it! Seeing that I'm almost gone, I am using my action to wild shape into a black bear.
The black bear suspiciously looks a little scaly.
Yep. It also has mushrooms on it. On its back.
You sure you're not a badger?
Badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom.
I don't get it.
Ah, the youth of the internet.
Right.
I do not get it. I'm not joking. I do not
Hey.
get that joke.
Badger, badger, badger,
it-
badger, mushroom, mushroom.
Can I... Okay, I don't believe I can make another action since... I don't believe I can do anything else. I believe I
No,
took my action.
unless the only thing you could do at this point would be move. If you wanted.
But I don't know. Perception?
You would
guess.
know the direction away from people, because there's nothing that would have turned you around, and you still know the, where that one guy was that you blindly swung at. So you could reasonably run away if you wanted to. It's up to you if you wish to make that bad decision or not.
I'll just stay where I am.
Oh, wait a minute. He's got to make another save on the start of his turn.
Yep.
Wait,
Oh, because
what?
of the spiritual guardians.
That's what Spirit. Yep. That's what Spirit Guardians does.
So roll another wisdom save. But the first wisdom save for darkness. Okay, so you take half the 17 again. In bear form.
Oh, in bear form, half of 17, 8.
You actually have to roll
Oh,
the
wait.
damage again.
Okay, you're right. Thank you.
Okay, so that's 3d8.
So 7.
So 7 damage.
And if
Okay,
that
I'm
actually
at
happened,
12.
if that was actually at the beginning of his turn, it was
Like, it would have been before it.
Yeah,
So,
it would have been before he turned into a bear.
yeah, you're right. You're right. So, did you have 7 hit points left before your wild shape?
I had 14.
Okay. So, you are at 7 hit points. Now you wild shape.
Now, at 19.
Okay. Alright. Thank you for reminding me of that one, because I didn't have the Spirit Guardians in front of me.
Well, there it is. So
Yay!
I think after that, how I will move away.
Alright, that provokes attack of opportunity from the Red Fang of Shagaras. And he swings at the running bear, hitting with a 23.
No.
With 13 points of damage. Bathroom's down the hall.
Yeah, he's gonna make sure he's out of the radius. Staying there is a death sentence.
Alright, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right. So we have 3 orcs, and Strixx knows there are more on the way. Or should I, 3 orcs left standing. So we've got the first one who sees a bear running away. He is going to throw a dart at yon bear. Okay, 2 darts. Yeah. Misses the second one, but hits the first one because I'm pretty sure your natural armor in the bear form is less than 15, correct?
It's 11.
Oh, then he hits with both. Because the second one was 11.
How much damage?
Total of 18.
I'm back at lizard form.
With 7 health. Love it. Series of bad decisions, man. Series of bad decisions.
Doesn't he also take the damage in lizard form as well? The remaining damage?
Depends. How much damage was the first attack that hit him?
10.
Did that drop you out of form? Did that drop you to 0?
Yeah.
So the
So-
second dart will take you out with
8 points of damage.
Yep.
On dart number 2.
Yep, I'm down.
And then we go with the next orc who realizes, hey, life is good. He has to roll his wisdom for this save, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna read my number. Fuck. Roll damage for me, please. Ouch!
Spirit Guardians, man, they scary bitches, man.
God damn it. Alright, he's going to try to take out Lucas and probably fail based on how I've been rolling these attacks so far. The only attack... Oh no, that one's a good one. Alright, so does an 18 hit?
Nope.
Okay. Does a 22 hit?
Just hits. I'm at 20.
Okay. 10 damage. As the one that I thought was going to be a good hit, wasn't. But the good hit is. And then that would end his turn. Which would bring me to the last one. Get ready to roll me another damage. Okay, go ahead and roll the damage. He does make the save, so I need to know what happened. Okay. So that puts me at 6. So this guy will come up to Caradoc and swing. Let me guess, 7 doesn't hit.
7 does not hit.
What about a 10? Does a 10 hit? That's a little bit better.
No, 10 does not hit.
Yeah, like I said, the only thing that they seem to be able to hit, aside from now once on Lucas, is Zeke. Okay. That puts us time for Caradoc. This guy's actually going to use his cunning action to hide. Let's see if he can do it for shit. No, no, he fails miserably. He holds a twig up in front of his face. You can't see me. Caradoc, you're up.
All right. Reckless attack. Great weapon master. Right to that one. That's a 15 to hit.
That's a hit.
That's 26.
You hit him hard. Somehow he is still on his feet.
That's all right because I've got my extra attack. That's a 21 to hit.
Also a hit.
That's 24.
How would you like him to die?
As bloody as possible. Let's just slice him in half horizontally right in his stomach.
Good, work for me. He is cleaved into this time. As Caradoc wields his blade with the skill of a Ginsu chef. Another reference sorry I won't get, that's okay. I just feel old now. Anyway. Sliced in half. The other orc is a mix of... Oh, sorry, the other orc that's paying attention to you is a mix of awed and scared as to what the f just happened.
And for good measure, I'm going to step right up to him, and I'm just going to give my best human scary face and just
Ooh, scary
Because I'm
face.
still raging.
Roll intimidation.
I'm assuming this will be with advantage because he just watched me kill his friend. Doesn't matter, either one is good. I like both those scores.
Alright, so his next round, he is gonna have to do a will save to do anything, and will be at disadvantage on attack. Because he is shit scared. Give me a perception roll, Strixx. At advantage.
At advantage, alright.
Oh yeah, you see all of these fucking.
Oh!
Holy shit!
Okay. Seeing that, I'm
Six
going.
down.
I'm going to use my Psionic Whispers on both Caradoc and Luqas.
Yep.
And it allows me to communicate with you for 6 hours, as long as we're within a mile away.
All right.
And I am going to tell you there are more en route. You
Whoa,
don't know where this came from, but you do sense a presence.
And with both of your histories, you're used to listening to disembodied voices.
Yeah. Dad?
Papa?
I am not your father.
I'm your uncle's cousin's roommate.
Twice removed!
Well, at least you got that reference. I feel better now. And are you doing anything else?
That takes my action. I'm not going to move from where I'm at, but I am going to still make sure I'm pretty stealth.
You good?
Man, fucking rogues and their stealth +10. Jesus.
Well, and
I may have expertise in stealth.
No,
Yep.
really.
who would have thought?
Really?
All right, Lucas, you've got. Oh, I forgot. There are 2 orcs that you see standing. You would notice, because of the whispers, these first 4 orcs. But your passive lets you know that there is a high possibility of far more coming.
Alright. I will spiritual weapon this again since it's not concentration. I thought it was, but it's not.
Yeah, it stays up until you say bye-bye.
Dismiss it. Or 10 rounds, I think.
10 rounds, something like that. Yeah, it sticks around for quite a bit.
So
Go ahead.
spiritual weapon on him. Oh, where you at? There you are.
That is a hit.
Five damage.
Really? Really? That's when you're going to roll the bitch damage.
Yeah.
He is barely alive.
And then I will move.
Are you sure?
Yep.
We're all gonna die.
To here.
Oh, he misses his opportunity attack.
He's got to roll pretty good to hit me. That's
Okay.
that's actually the only reason I went with life cleric is because my heavy armor proficiency.
All right,
That same throw.
that's what I was asking for.
Yeah!
You make your first save.
How's that work with? He's out of my aura now.
Yes.
So, but how would that work if he was in my aura being downed?
It would be
Two
an advantage. He would,
fails.
yeah, 2 fails.
Okay.
For each time he gets
Wait.
hit, it's going to be an automatic 2 fails.
Please don't kill me. I'm begging you.
Well, I'd stay away from me.
Yeah, right now you caused a active attack on people you didn't talk to. You knew that one of them was suspicious against you just because of racial prejudices, and yet you decided, what's a good idea? I know, an area effect that will take these 2 adventurers in harm's way.
So,
It probably wanted to piss Lucas off too much, but like you took half his life away.
I have a question. Since Lucas moved in, am I going to be targeted by your...
No, do I
There
have a
is
high enough perception to know he's there?
your passive perception would now notice that he's there.
Okay, then I can tell it not to attack him.
And also it is a situation of, with the conjunction of the psionic whispers, give me an intelligence check.
Well, and not only that, people are dropping dead from magical means. At least that's what I think, and I know it's not Caradoc.
Yes. And you also know that you got the psychic whisper after the druid drop, so he wouldn't be able to do something like that. Go and give me an intelligence check. That's good enough because it's not. You get advantage on this one. It's definitely. It's not a far stretch to put 2 and 2 together. You are reasonably
imagine-
certain that the guy up there has not been causing you trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know why I pointed
Well,
because
like
you
I
can't
said,
see me.
I'm contributing it to him. He's killing orcs, and he ain't fired at me nor Caradoc, so.
Fair enough. Alright. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes. Well, no, actually, I ain't done my action yet, so I want to cure wounds on myself.
Oh, shit. You actually also have to... Your spiritual guardians are going to be attacking. Because it's your turn, isn't it? Don't they automatically do that?
No, it's if something. Well, if that one guy moved, if he entered it on my turn, then yeah, he takes the damage. But it's
Okay.
at the start of their turn, or
Because
if
this
they move
guy,
into it.
when you move, he is now into the aura.
Okay, then yeah, I'll do the damage real quick before I roll my 11 or 5.
Because he wasn't there to begin with. And that is going to be 11 points damage.
All right, and then like I said, cure wounds, 2nd level on myself. For 8 damage, for 8 healing.
All right. It's saving throw. Okay. Okay, so this orc is going to try to come up. He's going to try to come up with Caradoc. I tried to flip the token over at that. Anyway, he's gonna swing at Caradoc and based on how it's going so far, it's probably swing like a bitch.
Because he walked into the
Shit,
Yep.
motherfucker, yes.
Yep.
doesn't that happen first?
Yes, it does.
Yep.
Roll the damage for me, please. Don't even
Alright,
bother,
it's fine.
actually.
I want to do it anyway.
Because save, no save, he's dead. He gets mauled by a spectral bear.
How'd you know what they were?
Because you used them last game.
Yeah, you
Yep.
did.
Well, that's my guardian too, or my weapon. That's my spiritual weapon. My guardians, written as rules, it says that they're either angelic or fays.
Okay.
Yeah, if good, they're either angelic or fey, your choice. And then evil's demon.
Well, with the light cleric of Apollo, Apollo having the aspect of bear as one of his things, being a big fan of Caradoc the Bear Man, it was a good safe bet.
Hey, we can go with bears too. I'm good with that. Yeah, especially with Apollo.
So he just, the shit got mauled out of him, so alright. Then that, he did. Over. Let him. Protected by divine guidance, let's get both. Nope, he does not, so he's just cowering.
Okay, and he started to turn in my aura, so he has to take another 3d8.
Roll the
Oh,
3d8.
Jesus.
6 damage.
Oh, he only takes half of that because he survives that will save. So he takes 3.
Lucky.
Yeah, you roll a crap roll and he saves that one. You're gonna roll the next time like, oh look, we get 24 points of damage next time.
I have work today.
All right. That puts us to Caradoc.
All right. Second verse, same as the first. Reckless, great weapon master.
That is a hit.
19.
Yeah. 19 hits. That's 23.
He's dead. As you slay him and he drops to the ground dead, you look up, now realizing that there's a world around you beyond the people just in front of you. And you see the oncoming line of orcs. Roll a insight. I will give it to you at advantage, based on everything going through.
Okay.
And based on your history, you would understand that it is likely this is an entire orc column. Despite your hatred of them, the voice of reason in the back of your head is saying, discretion might be the better part of valor this case. We may wish to fall back. If you listen to that little voice, is up to you.
Or is your prejudice much more louder?
You also, with your knowledge of orcs, it is easy to tell that the ones that are coming in currently are rank and file.
Mhm.
So you don't see any like super buff orcs. But that doesn't mean there aren't more in the column that is coming.
Can I talk to the voice in my head that said there's more coming?
Absolutely, you can. We have bonded a psychic connection for 6 hours.
All right. Breathing very heavily because he's still raging. Caradoc is going to tell the voice in my head that that's an entire column. Orcs don't just travel lightly. There are far too many for the 3 of us. What should we do?
Do I see more coming with my height?
With your height, you see what looks to be roughly a small army coming into the town. There are more than just orcs that you see.
Okay.
How well-traveled would you say Strixx is?
Strixx has mostly had life on the seas. He has recently come more inland to experience just more of a laid-back life.
Okay, so you would recognize probably about 20 or 30 feet back from where you see the final end. So 30 feet beyond that. You would recognize 2, at least, ogres.
Okay. I will. I will relay, especially the ogre part, to both Caradoc and Lucas.
Give me a perception. And this is purely just for, okay, so yeah, you estimate there's about 25 more that you can wager, 25 within that range, and at least 2 ogres.
Okay. So I will also include this down. So we must fall back.
With that, Caradoc will move.
As
to
you
move
are
here.
deciding that, keep in mind you have the downed lizard folk there. Are you going to do anything with it? You see that it's
Not
not
a
fully
bit.
dead, but you also don't have any reason to trust it since no communication was made, and the first thing it did was hurt you in the same time as you hurt the orcs.
Yeah, no, the only thing that I'm worried about right now is the town, so I'm going to be screaming as I'm running. 2 arms, everyone! Orc army! That's pretty much the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't really give a shite. Although I do have my extra attack, maybe as I'm going by, I'll stab the lizard folk with the blade.
That's only if you make. If you're dashing, you use your action.
I'm not dashing.
Yeah, he's got he's mobile, so he has like a 50-foot movement range.
Uh-huh.
So go ahead and do the, if you're gonna stabby, roll the stabby. And he is down, so there's no way it wouldn't be at advantage.
Yeah, it was reckless attack anyway.
Figured for you. That would be a hit.
And that's 22. I keep forgetting that I have 2.
Well, you're just
I
used.
have 2 attacks.
Yeah, you were used to being level 3. Now you got things where they should be. All right. So since he got the attack and they hit while he was down, that would be another 2 deaths, or that'd be 2 fails, because he did save the first time. And that ends your turn, correct?
Yeah, that ends my turn. Hoping that the city guard will hear me screaming. Wish I had thaumaturgy to boom my voice out, but I'm not a tiefling.
You are correct.
So Strixx is going to use feline agility.
Oops.
And I'm going to run and jump down here.
Give me an acrobatics, please. You're already on. Love it. Perfect.
Jesus.
Doing a flip midair.
Grace and style. You roll acrobatics far better than my characters roll acrobatics. I am skill, I am grace, I am tripping on my face.
Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Okay. You're so agile, even I couldn't see you, and I'm looking down below. I'm looking from above.
The feline agility gives me essentially a dash for free.
Yeah.
Once per turn.
All right. Is that the end of your turn?
Let's see. Are they? No, I wouldn't even have light of sight anymore. Do I see anybody coming from the side streets?
No, it appears that the town, as the fighting stopped, largely evacuated. From what it appears, the guards either were already disposed of by the time you got out to help, or simply don't care.
All right.
Cowards.
I'm going to use the psychic connection and tell both of them we need to hurry. And that will end my turn.
Lucas!
I just imagine I hear meow after all that.
It's your turn, Meow.
I am going- I'll move. And then bonus action dash. And since he entered my thing, he's pretty much dead, ain't he?
Yeah, you still have him as a hostile
they're
target
not-
with no reason not to.
well- No, actually, no, because you said if they start their turn, remember?
But if they enter
Or
in while he's
enter in.
moving, since he moved past you, and you were still considered hostile, the Spiritual Guardians would have made an attack as he walked by. Because the Spiritual Guardians is still in
But-
for another 3 turns? It's a 6-round thing, right?
Oh, it's 10 minutes.
10 minutes? So, oh shit, that's like
So that's
60
100
rounds.
rounds.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I'm dead. Great.
Yeah, Zik, through poor decisions, was not long for this world. Alright. So, are you, after the dash, are you doing anything else?
Let's go, Caradoc.
I'm on it.
And I imagine I can see Strixx with my passive perception, right?
Yes, and he isn't trying to hide at this point.
Yeah.
So unless he, like, crit hit it with how high your ridiculous passive is,
And I don't understand how it's that high. That's crazy.
yeah, I don't have an answer for that either. Okay. Let me do some measure.
I mean, it works off wisdom, right? So, I mean, my wisdom's 18. And being a human helps a lot with +1 to everything.
Yeah. So I take it at this point you are all fleeing at the moment?
Yes, my intention is to leave the town because I do not see a winning situation in this.
No, this is not a winning situation.
You're
Actually,
correct.
I'm reading it. It says when an enemy enters the area of the first time on a turn or start of a turn there.
That was the start of, it was my turn and you entered it. It doesn't say
Good.
you have to enter it. It says when you enter.
Because you were out of it, then you're in it, and you were still considered an enemy.
Yeah, and when the creature enters the area for the first time on a turn.
I'll make a new character.
Alright. So in this event, then, since you are pulling away, you pull out of the town as the orcs continue their rampage into it. They do not... The advancing column does not come towards you. You get outside of town, knowing that the enemies are advancing from the north. You set up a preliminary camp on the outskirts in the forest.
In this area or further up this way?
No,
Are we
down
heading-
in this area. You're regrouping at the very least down here in the forest, trying to
Okay.
get a better look and understanding that the orcs were not coming just for a simple raid with that number of people. They were there for something. Caradoc would presume based on his long history with the orcs.
Yeah. They didn't go into a town like that without an absolute purpose. I wish
So
my
you're
grandfather was here. He'd know. He'd be able to help.
So you're saying that's not just a normal raiding party?
That was not.
When are orcs out in force like that then?
What would the answer that Caradoc would give?
Caradoc's knowledge of the orcs, normally when they're coming in for something like that, they're either looking for slaves or they're being controlled by some higher power, be it an intelligence or a god or just someone who's bigger and scarier than orcs. Usually for a specific item. In your experience, the orcs are opportunistic attackers and do not go in force unless there is something of great value that they want for their tribe. Or slaves.
Okay, I'm going to tell them all that. And I'm going to say it very well could be something as basic as Crunch has told them to attack the city, or there's something in there that they desire.
Well, honestly, they can have whatever's there.
If they're going,
The
whatever's
town's
there.
evacuated, right?
During the fight, it is reasonable to assume that most of the civilians got the hell out.
Okay. Did we see any like town guard, townspeople, or anybody like fighting them?
When you first came in, you would have noticed at least two guards that were slain at the feet of the orcs.
Okay, and then we killed the ones that killed them.
Yes.
On the way out of town, did we see any guards trying to like defend the town, or was it bare like everybody evacuated?
It was basically bare like everyone evacuated. You saw either people running with you or remains of things on the ground. No one was dead as you were leaving, but there was like the general chaos of an hasty escape.
I got you. People dropping shit on the way out and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Because of the closeness to my clan.
You would have recognized the regalia they had as many arrows.
Okay, but because Silverymoon is probably, I would say, within 2 days, maybe 3 days from
3
my
days.
clan. What do I know of Silverymoon?
You know that Silverymoon is a moderate size, kind of like a rest stop on ways to larger places. You haven't really gone there much yourself. You've heard Elrond talk about it a good number of times because his tribe acted as an intermediary a lot of times as a trading waypoint. Your history was more with Neverwinter South. You know a little bit of Silverymoon, and you knew it was a good waypoint on the way back to your clan.
Okay. So I wouldn't know if there's anything that would be.
Roll a history.
Relic. That sort of kind of scares me. Yeah, no.
Yeah, you wouldn't know jack or shit.
Which, I mean, makes sense. He's,
like in the back of your mind, you would maybe have something, but it could also be an itch.
Yeah, I mean, he's the chieftain's grandson, but he doesn't have to know much because
just because you were told it doesn't mean you were paying attention.
Right, pretty much. He was too busy dreaming of Bran and all of that during that history lesson. All right. So you see Caradoc. Really, once he mentioned his grandfather, he just kind of has slumped, and he's deep in thought, wishing that he was in Prairie Village. He's pretty stumped, actually, as to why they would be there.
I'm going to mental to Strixx. Are you still there?
And this should still be within the time that the training is still connected.
Whoa, that's fucking weird. I'm used to it, but the voice sounds different.
Hey, Jim.
Where'd he go?
Yes.
I got my new character done.
Okay, is that Snow in the character sheet?
Yep.
Okay. I will get a introduction here when it makes sense.
Sorry, because what I did was stupid.
Yeah, like I said, Just think about it ahead of time. You hadn't even talked to these
So-
people, and you attacked them with the orcs. What did you
Well,
think
to
was
be
going to
honest-
happen?
I mean,
To be honest, that is lizard folk. They are neutral about everything.
well, and you have to see it from an outsider's perspective. They don't know that you're not essentially a spy planted to
Yeah.
help these orcs infiltrate.
Like I said,
I just
Lucas could have laughed off getting knocked on his ass, getting knocked prone. That wasn't what pissed him off. What pissed him off is you took half his life. And that's hard to do.
All right. Okay, so Lucas, you were trying to telecommunicate with Strixx, yes?
Yep. I mean, are you still there?
So how much time has passed?
About an hour since you guys left the town, so it should still
Okay.
be connected.
I will reply yes.
How'd you learn that? I have somebody else that talks in my head. And I'd like to find that bastard.
It is a ability that I developed over the years.
Do you know a way to trace it? The whole time Lucas is sitting there talking, he's like staring up, like side-eyed.
Right, and as I'm talking to you, you see my ears and whiskers start twitching, but no other emotional changes to my face. So you sense that I'm communicating with you, but you don't know what my intentions are. You just know that I was in town and I helped you guys out in the fight.
Well, besides the obvious, thank you for the warning. I was about to dive head first into them fucking orcs.
I'm not sure what was up with that lizard thing. Drinking milk in the bar.
That was Lucas with milk.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
like I'm not.
He was
alcoholic.
casting his
I
bones.
don't drink alcohol in real life, so I won't do it with a character. I'm a milk drinker.
Milksop.
Wait, why is my
Someone had to say it.
holy crap? Why is my all my stats gone?
I don't know why our staff gone.
I gotta fix this now, Greg.
They still show on my screen. Try refreshing it.
No. I mean like my proficiencies. For some reason, I only have 2 proficiencies.
I was gonna say I see them all. I see everything.
It does that to me too. I only got 2 proficiency, and I never changed it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's all there on the. As far as I can see on the sheet, the only thing I don't see with what you were doing there is I don't see any personality traits, ideal bond, flaws, anything like that on your sheet. Everything else, just there.
Normally don't do those.
But responding to your question, Strixx, I'm gonna whisper back. I don't know. I at first was kind of wary of him, but I thought he might help us. But my friend Caradoc over here kind of side-eyed him in the restaurant, so I wasn't sure. And then for sure, fucking enough, when we get outside, he attacks us.
I didn't trust lizard folk.
But we're
Don't
talking
hate them.
in our brains.
Hmm.
Is it like a 3-way party? Can like Caradoc hear us, or is it just me and you?
Well, he can choose to communicate through the psychic link, or not. And let me check to see if it's like a party chat.
'Cause that'd be cool.
So let's see. As an action, you choose up to 3 creatures you can see and then roll 1 psychic energy dice for the number of hours equal to the number. I can telepathically communicate with you, and I can telepathically communicate with them. So note, it is not a party chat.
But I did.
I'd read that as like you can take it either way because it does not specifically say you can't talk to both of us at the same time.
Right. I feel that I can communicate with both of you guys at the same time.
But
I don't think that you two can communicate with each other.
Gotcha. Okay, so he wouldn't hear what I say, and I wouldn't hear what he says, but you could hear both of us.
Right.
And I can hear you whenever you're talking.
I have not hidden any information with our discussions.
Okay,
Oh, that would be kind of weird.
When
He's
you
only hearing
said-
half the conversation.
Yeah,
Okay, got everything fixed.
but that would be like listening in on a telephone conversation where you where the person you can
Is
hear
only receiving half of it.
Yeah, but Caradoc did hear you ask what's up with the lizard person, and that's why he said I didn't trust lizard folk. I didn't hate them, but I didn't trust them.
So you're saying this aloud, or you trying to use the link?
I'll use the link to you.
Okay.
Are we the only ones in our camp, or did we like set up camp and are we taking in villagers like type thing? Since you said some were running out with us.
Currently, you are the only ones in your camp, though you would be able to hear nearby villagers setting up their own. By far, you are the closest to the raided town of everyone that you are aware of. It is up to you all if you are trying to hide the fact that you are there or not.
I would be very stealth. I would not want people to have been able to follow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, but I still want to stay within range to where we can keep an eye on the town. Even if we have to like actually leave camp to go up there and check it out, but I only want it to be like a 5-minute walk.
Okay, that's fair.
And I think this is a good time to take a break because I have to piss. I have to. It's like a piss horse.
Take a
Alright,
brief
makes sense.
moment. We'll get that taken care of, and then we'll figure out what you all want to do in regards to this.
Okay.
Okay.
Of course, if you like what you see, please do like and follow. We will have another broadcast this afternoon, where I am DMing the
Okay.
Tyranny of Dragons module.
Welcome back.
Definitely going to
Welcome
be a lot of
back.
fun on that
Thanks.
one, as opposed to this weird improv one that I'm doing here. And fighting with token do what I want them to. That's just me being me. I think the last one we're waiting for is
No, I'm here. I was just asking Viper if he's going to jump in now.
Oh, that would be cool.
oh yeah. If he is, that's cool. That's amazing enough. Full and ooh. I think I like that. Got a couple ideas.
That's like the DM's like total thing is you have to have all kinds of ideas.
Well,
And even ideas, there aren't ideas because you don't know what's going to happen.
yeah, but we all know that Kes has about 1.5 million ideas running through his head. He just has to figure out which one he wants to pull out.
Exactly.
Yeah, creativity is not an issue.
Yeah, when I started looking into getting in the game, I started watching Matt Mercer has GM tips. They're only like little 5-6 minute clips.
Yeah,
And one of his things is you can prepare, but you better be good at just winging it, because 90% of the time you plan something, your players are going to fuck it up.
Oh yeah.
well, and particularly the first campaign, they threw him off so often during the first campaign. It's like, the fuck is this? Now I got to figure it out. You could see it on his face. It's like, that's not where we wanted to go, fellas.
Yeah, and like I was watching it the other day, and man, what you said, Kess, was just it hit home. Because like, in order to play with a GM like fucking Matt Mercer, your players have to be that. Because like all of them, man, once they start to show, they're all in character, damn near the whole fucking time.
Yeah. And even when they do step out a few times for whatever it is, because it happens, it's a different level of character. And that, because I had it one time with a group shortly after Critical Role hit and started getting popular right around season 4. And I was DMing this run, and the guy's going, "Well, why aren't you like Matt Mercer?" And I'm going, "Well, why aren't you like Matt Mercer's players?"
Nope.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And he was like, like, I will tailor myself to the level of the table.
Yep. Yeah, because I'd say the only one really that doesn't get into it like the rest of them, the most conservative player at that table is fucking Travis Willingham, and he even gets into the shit.
And he does something that a lot of other players don't do, is he goes out of his way to ensure that everyone else is getting interacted with.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the other big thing. It's not just about what you as the player can do. It's recognizing it's a shared ensemble cast, and everyone should have a part into it.
I mean, there's
cool.
reasons that like there's reasons they get paid to play D&D now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Viper's fixing up his sheet and he'll be over.
Awesome.
Cool. I'll finish setting up the map then. Have him hop into the chat while he's doing that, so he can be up and on speed.
Okay,
I type it, but I'm still fighting tokens.
that's all right. I'll do it. All right, that's done.
And Tim, just so you know, that feeding cats to the dragon thing, that's just strictly character, because I got my cat sitting right next to me.
I love cats. I think cats are awesome.
I mean, I am a dog person. I do like dogs more than cats, but I'm like in heart an animal. I love all animals except for fucking spiders.
Spiders aren't animals. Those are creatures from the 9th level of the Inferno.
As I'm
I
taking
know
notes right
someone-
now.
Actually, I know someone who breeds spiders.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
side question. What the fuck is wrong with them?
Right. Oh, no. Robert, you're killing me.
I'm Jacob.
All right.
Not Robert.
No, Robert was saying something else. Anyway,
Yeah.
Okay,
Two.
Viper's in here, so now we can get caught up.
now we're continuing through. I'm gonna be afraid of broom still, but that's another issue. Carrying on. So as to bring Viper up to speed, Sorrow was left drunk. The party had basically decided, we can't deal with the False Hydra. We are far out of class. And they decided to wander back towards Caradoc's village. Elrond, without much explanation, said he was heading east and just disappeared left. The group stopped at Silverymoon, where they met a Tabaxi who was not yet introduced himself, and ended up trying to fight off an orcish raid, which was rather on the large side. A lizard folk who was unknown to be friend or foe ended up getting slaughtered in the process as he attacked both Orc and the other members of the party. And again, no one really knows why, because there was no conversation, just war. The
War.
You, however, having been with the party long enough, knew of Caradoc and Luqas' telltale signs of camp. You could find them with little difficulty, even with the stealthiness in there, just because you knew what to look for. I will just go ahead and say that you had an idea of a beacon that Luqas would have left for you.
I just see a big pillar of light shining down on Luqas. That's just gonna be my explanation.
That'll work.
His god, Apollo.
Apollo
sending
said,
for
yo,
me.
go there. You also would have noticed that there was a rather large group of orcs in the town before you got there. So that's why you did not go to the town itself. You would have found them camping outside of it. And we haven't got to the point where the new character for Jacob would have been introduced yet. So,
Because I was stupid. Poor decisions making.
very true.
Very.
So you're all under the assumption that the orcs are searching for something based on your knowledge of the orcs. What are we... Sorry, go ahead.
So would I see this new person walking into camp?
You would see them, everyone would see them. It's not like Euro is trying to be super sneaky stealthy.
Okay. So with this person and me being on high alert, you kind of see Strix's hair stand on end, and he gets into a defensive position, watching this person enter camp.
Caradoc will see Euro coming in, and will notice that of the Tabaxi friend that we've not ever introduced each other to, and he's going to say, "It's all right," and he's going to stand up and he's going to go over to the monk, and he's going to put his hand out. "Welcome, friend. It's been a couple of days. How you doing?"
Friend. And then I'm gonna rigorously shake Caradoc's hand and say, "It's been quite a couple days trying to enlighten myself. Hopefully, you are doing just as well."
Well, a bit worse for the wear, but we're both doing all right. Come join us.
And we're
He's-
taking a short rest, I imagine, right?
At least.
All right, I'm gonna roll a couple hit dice.
It's not a bad idea. 6. $12. Yeah, that puts me up to full health. All right. So I use 2.
So before the short rest, I will use that.
Oh,
Fair.
those are a whole lot of words that I'm not going to read.
What's that?
I said that's a whole lot of words I'm not going to read.
Nope.
So I have psychic powers that you do not know about yet. And this is just me trying to recover some of those psychic powers.
He stabs things with his mind.
And then
He's like badass Professor X.
I will take my short rest.
And I'm going to at that point when we get all settled around, I'm going to put my hand out to the tabaxi. I'm going to say, I'm Caradoc Prederi. I'm glad to meet you. Glad
Are you saying this out loud or?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
saying this out loud. And I'm going to say, this is my friend Luqas and my other friend Euro.
You'll see my tail not sort of twitch, but flow very smoothly behind me as if an amusement. And I'll say, I go by Strixx.
I'm very
Nice
pleased to meet you, Strixx.
So, you guys know each other?
Oh, we've known each other for how long? About 2 weeks, almost a month.
Almost a
longer
month.
than that. It was longer than that because some of our
With fucking pirates, fucking timekeeping, I don't know.
That is true.
that's
Could be a
that's
month,
a fair
could be
point.
6 months.
I will
That's-
go ahead and say that you all have been in and about for about 6 months together.
Have a bit of history together.
For the better part of a half a year now.
Well,
I will go ahead and say we are in mid-spring.
that's a relief to hear. I would hate to have to kill you as I'm sharpening my claws.
I'm going to laugh you off.
I am too.
Those look sharp.
They have their uses. I'm able to climb and hurt people.
Uses indeed.
Well,
I feel like that's
I'm
a
not,
very Lucas way to respond.
I'm not
Very
able to climb, but I can hurt people.
I can show you how to climb. As I approach a tree and just start climbing it.
Um,
I'm not even going to bother with a roll on that one. You got claws.
Question
So-
as a player, tabaxis, like, are they a specific cat breed or like?
So
Can you
you'll
pick?
notice that I've got yellow tabby-like markings.
Caradoc's going to morph into his hybrid form and going to attempt to climb the tree.
How hybrid is your hybrid form? Because bears in general have like a 30-foot climb.
I'm not really sure. It's not really. It's basically lycanthropy, but I'm not really sure how much bear I have.
Well, and since it just begun, right? You'd probably be more man than bear right now, anyway.
I think so. But I do know that I have claws because that's one of my attack abilities.
Are you trying to climb the same tree that I did, or
No, the one next to you.
okay?
Do I need a roll for that one?
Are your claws out?
Yeah, my claws are out.
Then no, I don't care.
All right.
Not in this particular time. We're good.
You see
far as I'm aware, bears are
you
pretty
see a
fine.
smile on my face.
Well, this is an animal house. If I ever saw one.
And I'm going to whisper back. You ain't seen nothing yet.
I give you a nod.
And then I'm going to climb back down and drop my form. Sit back down with the rest of them. And I'm just grinning as big as I can.
I flip off the tree branch, and I go sit with the rest of the party.
when Caradoc sees that, his eyes are going to go wide, and he's going to say, "That was feckin' impressive."
You ain't seen nothing yet. And you don't so that was with my telepathic to both Caradoc and Luqas.
Mhm.
So the new person does not know about that yet.
I have no clue what's going on.
Right.
Story of my life.
Yep.
I'm just happy that the voice in my head is talking back. So, like, every chance I get to talk to this dude is going to be telepathic.
So Caradoc suddenly gets serious. I really wish that Elrond were here. He'd have some sort of insight as to the orcs being there. Either him or my granddad.
Is Elrond your leader?
Elrond is a friend of mine from long ago. I've known him since I was a child. And he was with us for a while, but he left and went east. Didn't know where he went, but it's typical. It's typical Elrond. He's a great man. I admire him a lot.
And I'll speak into his telepathically saying Elrond is a peculiar sort, but dependable.
I will reply directly to Luqas. I see. Where did Elrond go?
We don't know. He just bounced.
He does that. He said he was heading east. May have a bounty there.
And you see a glimpse of these purple blades as I'm cleaning my nails after climbing that tree with them.
Like physical blades?
No, you see the purple blades that I was using to attack the orcs with.
Okay, so they're like the poral blades.
Right.
That's a neat trick you got there.
It is not a trick. As I grin at you. So, what's our game plan?
Well, it's for sure that we cannot defeat that army. At least at this point, we need to have a bigger contingent of people. I can do what I can, but it's not going to be enough even with us. With Euro here, I believe the 5 of us can take a lot, but
There's
not
4 of you
enough
right
to-
now.
4 of us.
Not quite 5 yet.
With 4 of us, we can take out a lot, but not enough to make a dent. Not with an army of orcs. Just damn near impossible.
Do you think maybe our Euro, you're good at sneaking too, right?
I tend to be light on my feet, if that is what you mean.
Maybe we can get our 2, at least 1 Strixx. I know you're sneaky. I saw that shit how you vanished. Maybe we can get you guys to do some recon and see like where they're focusing their attention on, because we're pretty sure at this point that they're here for something or someone, right?
Yes. It definitely with the force that moved into the city, they were looking for something or someone important to them.
So maybe if we can ascertain where they're focusing, we can glimpse what they're fucking here for.
Just a good plan.
I have no
Uh,
qualms.
Okay.
I'm fairly stealthy as well, but I think I'd trust the 2 of them over myself. So
The
I think that's a good plan for them to go in and try to see.
the 4
What's
of you, I would like you to roll perception.
Okie dokie.
Lucas and Euro, roll insight as well.
Oh, that's my moment.
God damn. Okay. Lucas and Euro, you see outside of your camp, there appears to be a strange figure looking towards the town. Euro, I almost said the wrong person. You determine that they are trying to, without getting inside, trying to determine the severity of the attack on the town.
So, like, recon?
In a way, this is Snow that they are seeing. Snow, go ahead, describe your character, what they see.
You see a albino king cobra with bright blue eyes, just looking down at the damage of the city and how the orcs are moving. What are they after in this city? Gonna be slaves of
Lucas, do you see that too?
I do. What the hell is that?
Oh no. However, I
Telepathically,
don't feel surprised.
Strix, do you see that weird creature?
Did I?
Now
Make
that it
this
is
check.
pointed out to you, you do
Okay.
see that creature there. You
Okay.
would recognize it with what you told me as a Yonti pureblood.
Yep.
Oh, all right.
Your travels would have brought you in contact with one or two of them.
I will reply. Yes. Seems to be a Yanti. And
I don't know what that is.
I will again take a defensive position with hair standing on end.
I heard the Yanti. Caradoc does. And he looks over to where Strixx is looking. And he will stand and draw his sword.
Can I make, as I'm looking, can I make a perception on the town?
You may. What are you looking for?
More of like more or less, are they like trying to find people, or more or less find someone, or looking for, like, more or less get, like, are they just doing it for destruction or just for a purpose?
So from where you're at, they definitely are raiding as well, but it does look to be more of a focused for something. So where you're at, you can't tell if it is, if they have found it, or if there is a certain oomph involved. It looks, from where you're at and what you can see, it appears to be a heavily targeted raid.
Can I get a, with that roll, would I be able to get an idea on the body count of how many they are altogether, or no?
The raiding force appears to be about 30 creatures, and you do notice the 2 ogres are still there in the town.
The ogres might be the ones in charge. Orcs love the strongest of their clan.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but he's talking to himself. He's not even near us, right?
You would be able to hear him, but he is not talking to you, he's just talking.
Could be for a purpose. What is their purpose here?
Do we hear
Oh.
that?
And he's not making any real attempts to hide that he's talking to himself.
Okay. So Caradoc at that point is, since he's already standing with his sword drawn, he's going to say, "More to the point, what is your purpose here?"
After hearing that, he jumps back and takes a a pouncing position and on the ground, like on all fours, and just like continuously hisses at them.
And at that,
Lightning bolt.
I stealth and jump up a tree.
Not a real good how to make friends and influence people moment.
I'm guiding bolt right away as soon as he took a
What?
pouncing stance.
No, You did sneak up on him. You did, like...
You were talking out loud on a road,
Fair enough.
and then you turn around. He goes, "What's your purpose here?" You turn around and take a defensive stance, not a defensive stance, an aggressive stance.
No, he's pretty much just on the ground on all four, like... Who's there?
And in fairness, y'all didn't make your presence known till Caradoc just, what's your purpose here?
Yeah, I mean, Caradoc's not going to attack or anything, but he's prepared.
After my last encounter, I'm not getting blindsided again, guiding bolt.
Are you going to do that as a
That's
targeted
warning shot,
attack?
I'm
Okay,
not-
warning shot. Okay,
No.
that's what I was getting at. All right. So you're making your wariness known without any question or qualm. Cool.
Yep.
Stand and identify yourself. I am Caradoc Prederi.
Tell your friends to hold their fire.
I'm right here. You can talk to me, motherfucker.
I didn't believe that you're in a position to tell us anything. All I know is that this is our camp, and you're here. Stand and identify yourself.
Well, you do have a hidden camp. Not my fault I ran into it.
This is a DM in a casually light way. You may actually want to identify yourself before you end up pissing off the camp and being attacked again.
Fair enough.
Friendly advice.
I am Snow. I am a servant for nature itself. The stars have guided me here.
My friend asked you once. Next time, I'm not going to be a warning. What is your purpose?
Like I said, the stars have told me to come here. So I came here.
You'll hear from the tree. Came here to do what?
They did not specify on why.
Well, that was incredibly vague.
Most things are.
Caradoc shakes his head. Nay,
It's funny because I know exactly why I'm here.
nay, nothing that's worthwhile is vague.
Why are you here?
We're here because we decided that we needed to exit the town. We were not willing for the orcs to slay us. We tried to protect it. There's just far too many.
He eases up after hearing that and just looks back to the village. They move for purpose.
Oh, aye. That we know. We just didn't know what their purpose is.
Someone brains are most likely given the orders.
I were aware of that as well.
Or maybe the big
I didn't catch that. What was that?
Or maybe the big
No,
one.
no, no.
Answer you.
Sorry, I'm sorry. That was Tim talking to you because I couldn't quite hear with the whisper.
Oh.
So what was it? About the big ones?
Maybe the big one.
Maybe
No,
the
no,
big
no, no.
ones are the ones that are calling the shot.
Yeah, much.
Okay.
The whispers are not quite as audible through or discernible through your microphone for whatever reason.
Sorry.
Understandable.
um. So Caradoc looks over at the city. And he looks back at the new creature. Caradoc doesn't really know anything about Yanti, so he'll look back at the new creature that's with them, and we'll say, "You're saying then that it's the ogres that are calling the shots? Ogres aren't smart enough to do that."
Most things are never made sense. Everything is always changing. As nature changes. Are you planning to go?
We're getting a lot of feedback there from you, Jeff.
Yeah, what's all that noise?
Jiv,
What?
We're getting a lot of
are you
feedback
all
from you.
right?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm making Kool-Aid, sorry.
You using an electric blender to make Kool-Aid?
No, my sink has one of them like shower head things on it, so when
Ah.
Oh,
it comes
okay.
out, I'll
That makes way more sense.
Right. I'm like,
Little concerned there for a
Kool-Aid
second.
with a blender? Okay.
It mixes it up real good, you know.
Oh, I'm well aware.
Are you planning to head back in the village?
Before we share anything about any plans that we may or may not have you a plan?
I wish to know their purpose.
So do we.
Then our goals align.
Caradoc's going to look at Lucas and Euro, because he has absolutely no idea where Strixx is. His stealth is way too high for my passive.
I mean, you should have heard me talk to this person.
Oh yeah, that's true. You did talk. So he's going to look at his other three friends, and he's going to say, "I didn't know. Should we clue this one in on the first part of what we've talked about?" It's up to you.
I'll reply with numbers are always better for our circumstances, but I'll dead-eye look at Snow and say, you cross me, I will kill you.
Then come, set. We'll tell you what we've got planned.
Good.
Okay, DM reminder of your assets in the area. You do hear that there are some villages, or villagers, not villages. We haven't gotten full villages in the woods, I'm sorry.
Damn it.
Villagers are camped a little bit deeper inside the woods, not too far away from where you are. They are not as adept at being in the forest as any of you. So you could find them without any trouble. You basically know where they are. You know that the raid in the town is still going strong, but it does start to show signs of ending. And then, of course, it is quite obvious that they weren't trying to sneak in, so it is without much difficulty that you would be able to find where their main camp is. Be that through laziness or arrogance is unsure.
Okay. Do we still want to send you two in to scout? I'm saying, 'cause now at this point, I'm thinking that we could send you two in to scout, figure out where they're concentrated at, or if they, since they're starting to clear out, if they found what they're looking for, and then whoever stays in camp can go to the villagers and ask them if they have anything that these orcs would be interested in for the reason of the attack.
Caradoc's going to smile and he's going to say, that's exactly what I was thinking. I think that's a wise idea. If the two of you are willing to go in there and try to find something.
I can also help with recon.
I don't trust you.
Fair enough.
I'm still not sure about this person's intention, so I'll say I think it's best left up to the two of us.
I believe that if we send too many people in there, it will just add to the possibility of death. I'd prefer that that Euro and Strixx go. I trust
I
them.
know their capabilities, I don't know yours.
I am a druid.
Then you're best suited in the woods, not the city.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you one chance. Disappear in front of me without me noticing and I'll let you go.
Disappear without you knowing?
Yep. So I imagine he would have to roll a stealth roll against my passive perception.
You would have to roll a stealth. Jesus Christ! Stack the deck against him, why don't you? With your fucking insane passive.
I'll just say this. I'll say, I can turn into a tiny creature, and they will not notice me.
Give a shot on the stealth. It's going to be a disadvantage because he's staring at you. And if you want to waste your wild shape on it at this point, go for it. I wouldn't recommend it. Oh God.
Yeah,
You're shy of even without the disadvantage. You are shy about 10 points minimum.
Yeah, I was going to say close to 10.
Isn't it like you got like a 28 passive?
28.
How the fuck do
Jesus.
you have that high of a passive perception?
I don't know, but I've
insane.
never fucked with it. It's been like I mean, it got increased when I went up to 5, but it's always been high.
Yeah, my passive is 18, and I don't even know why, because that is not even close to my wisdom score. But that's what.
Did you take a feat
got a
like
26.
alert?
No.
No, I don't have alert. But yeah, no, it's my passive is 18. That's what roll
My
20 gave me.
wisdom's 18. I get a +4.
Hey, Jim. Can I
Yeah.
ritual cast Find Familiar?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah. Just a snake on his shoulder now.
Yeah, and there's no reason why at this point you wouldn't have the materials for it anyway, so yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just...
Oh,
yeah,
let
I'm
me
not
go
gonna
to
argue.
D&D Beyond and let me look up how passive perception works so I can see.
It's your perception plus 10.
Yeah, there's gotta be something that's loose enough for both you and so that my brain is not clicking with. But
Yeah, it was. That's how I felt. It's like I don't know what's going on with my
I'm with
passive, but
Lucas, it makes a little bit of sense because he's got the discovery background with Hermit,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
that boosts it up off the bat. But that's still 28 is ridiculously high.
yeah,
Yeah, I only have a 16 and I'm a druid.
I have a
Druids.
26.
And, with the natural perception that Lucas has, and discovery, it makes a little bit of sense, but holy chicken nuggets and fries, that's a lot!
yeah. But it's a lot for me too. I don't. I
You
don't
just sit there and Lucas going around, I'm not surprised.
My passive wisdom, based on everything that I've seen, should be like 9. Because
Well, you should be closer to like 14-ish.
yeah. So why I've got 18, I don't know, but my passive perception is pretty high for who I am.
I don't know where it's supposed to be, but I'm pretty sure mine is a little on the high side as well.
Mine's on the high side too, at a 16.
Okay, so passive perception, I'm pulling everything up again. It's 10 plus your wisdom, plus any proficiency bonus if proficient, plus any other bonuses to perception.
Oh, okay. Then
It's
mine
10
makes
plus
sense.
wisdom. Yeah, my wisdom's 18, so that's 28.
Yeah, so that pulls out perfect.
Okay, yeah, no, my wisdom's 16.
Oh, I was using Pathfinder calculation, that's why I thought it was weird. Never mind, carry on, we're good. We're in normalcy. Pathfinder calculates it differently.
Then why do my perception rolls turn out so bad anyways?
The dice hate you.
Yeah.
When Snow would say, "Do you honestly think people will feel comfortable talking to me?"
I don't feel comfortable talking to you, but I've never met anyone that looks quite like you. So
Pray you don't find us in a group.
You're really good at winning friends over here, aren't you?
No,
Caradoc kind of just sits up straight and just glares at the new creature in front of him, and he looks at Euro and Strixx and says, I think you should go before anything else happens. This one will stay with us.
Okay. So, is Lucas, Caradoc, and Snow going to talk or try to get in touch with any of the villagers while the other two are searching?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
step one, let's go with Euro and Strix. Are you going to investigate the town, or are you going to attempt to investigate the camp? Because again, you can easily see the way where the camp is.
I want to investigate the camp because we just came from the town. I'm more trying to determine where exactly maybe a leader's tent is in there.
Okay. Are you in agreement, Euro?
Yes.
All right. First, both of you roll me stealth. Very
all that.
respectable scores. Of course you did. And now each of you roll perception, please. Oh yeah, you're talking about your bad perception roll now. What now? All right, so we do have the
Bahamut.
wrong
Wrong
character.
game. Wrong game.
Anyway, though it is Strix's 13 is good enough for this too, because it's just mostly numbers and amount. So Euro will get a little bit more information. So both of you are able to find the camp without much trouble. It is in this general area, about a quarter of a day's walk from. There is a large camp on top of a hill. To better illustrate such craziness,
He's going to the map.
just call me a meteorologist. Let's go to the map.
It's a dark map.
Not anymore.
No right.
So that
according
is
to
the
book
area you
compass,
see.
North is down.
Really? I didn't look at the compass road.
Yep.
Why the fuck would they do that? Okay. Let me put you on the correct side then. Yeah, north is down. Anyway. I'm just...
This is a goblin camp. They probably don't know which direction north is.
It's a
It
best
does
guess.
appear to be a former goblin camp. No goblins themselves can be detected inside. You do see the bustling and hustling of several orcs and ogres that are in the camp without really able to deter much. It appears that the orcs just came in, pushed the goblins out, and took over. There is no hide nor hair of any goblins here. So that would explain why the goblin camp, or why the camp showed up without people noticing, because people didn't care too much about the goblins themselves. They didn't pose much threat to the town. When the orcs came in, however, they got a easily fortified position without much effort. You do notice, in your scouting around the camp, that there are 4 entrances in, and they do not appear to be directly guarded, but you do sense that there is a sizable force inside. Euro overhears many of them talking about Brunch rather frequently, which isn't unheard of, but there is far more talk of Eye of Brunch than you normally would have expected.
I'm gonna relay this to Strixx.
What is this brooch?
I don't know. I don't speak
Do a
Orc.
religion from a euro.
Are we still in telepathic communication?
Strix, no, you would be just out of it because of the short rest and the travel time.
Damn it, because Caradoc knows
Um,
because of all of his.
With
because of his
the
upbringing.
monastic training, the Grunch that you would know and have determined, you vaguely remember that he is some deity of the Orcish pantheon.
Must be an orc god of some sort.
And that's all you can remember.
Well, surely he hasn't come.
That is a safe assumption to make.
Can
So I
we
want
can we
Go ahead.
retcon something? Just
Sure. Well,
briefly.
depends on what the something is.
Okay. I think Caradoc would suggest to Strix that he do the mind thingy once they get there, so that they can communicate without communicating.
Of the two of you, I think Lucas would be more likely to suggest that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Lucas, would you have liked to have done that?
Oh, most definitely. I like the voice in my head that talks back.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be a problem. I will go ahead and allow it if Strix agrees.
Okay. Let's see.
Because something tells me
I
Caradoc,
will-
while finding it useful, is slightly skeeved out about it.
Yeah, probably a
Alright.
little skeeved out.
Because of everybody,
Where was,
he's the only one who
Strixx and I?
doesn't have voices in his head.
What's that?
Where were Strixx and I?
You
We
were here-ish.
We were up at
yes.
the north, right?
Yes. Well, the south, which is the north, which is
Okay.
stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever made this map, I'm not happy with. But thank you for pointing that out to me. I would have been doing this totally backwards otherwise.
Well, I zoomed all the way out, and it was like the first thing I saw.
So the
Yeah.
whispers will last 4 hours.
All right, cool.
Okay, so you've got about 2 hours left.
I'm gonna take a moment to appreciate the symmetry of this camp.
It actually it's a very well laid out camp as far as goblin camps go.
Yeah.
Very efficient.
There's a reason why they're the evil dwarves. Not counting actually evil dwarves.
Uh-oh, looks like... Okay, there he is. I was gonna say, uh-oh, looks like Jeff dropped again.
I'm back. I'm back.
I blame the Kool-Aid.
All right. So Euro is going to experience this whisper this time, and I am going to tell him that I want to get a better look.
I'm gonna look over at Strixx and be like, "Did you say that?"
Are you saying out loud?
In a whisper.
Okay. I will give you a nod.
I'm gonna give you a thumbs up.
Hero doesn't know he can
I
talk
would
back.
give you a thumbs up back, but I realize I don't have thumbs.
Oh, you're gonna love Tom. Don't worry.
I can now just see.
So I agree that we should get a closer look, and I'm gonna start slowly like creeping up.
Okay, go ahead and drop the token.
Jesus Christ, shut your dog.
It's okay, I barked.
Well, I live in an apartment, and it's the people upstairs, and we got balconies like right outside our living rooms, which is I'm playing on my big screen TV, and they put their dog out there, so it just barks at everything that fucking walks by.
And it judges everybody, don't sure. Okay. So, I'm not gonna have you roll stealth every freaking time. Where are you venturing to?
So I'm going to try and make my way inside the gate, staying as close to the wall as possible.
Sure. You do notice that, strangely, no one appears to be on the battlement at all.
I'm gonna follow suit. Stay close.
Are you going up on the battlements or just down below?
I would like to see. I like heights, so yes, I would scale the outside of the wall to climb it into the battlements.
Okay. So from your height there, you notice that in the pit near you, well, nearish you,
That
yes,
bit?
that pit right there,
Okay.
there are 2 prisoners that are chained up. They're wearing ragged clothes and look to have seen better days.
I will whisper that information down to Euro.
At this time, as you are sneaking, Caradoc, Luqas, and Snow, you have found a camp of people from the town. What do you do?
I think Caradoc will look at Luqas and say, You're the paladin. I think you should
Cleric.
be the spokesperson. Cleric, sorry. I think you should be the spokesperson.
After that, I'll step up. Do I see anybody, like, clearly?
You see someone who does look to be a council member. They appear to be well dressed in better finery than the others.
Okay, I'll approach, and I'll say, greetings, friends. I'm here for questions about what just happened.
Right. At this point, because Jacob has to head to work, we will put it on hold. We can continue this next week if everyone is amenable to it.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah, no worries.
That should be good.
And just for edification, the fight in the town would not have gone as bad if there wasn't a giant tidal wave that went through and caused alert. It did get worse. And just because Sorrow hasn't heard this speech, it's one of the things when I'm running, whatever you do or don't do, may change how things go. Just for a heads up. So we'll continue through next week then. Same bat time, same bat channel, possibly with or without bats. And
No
those
promises for Friday.
we'll see what's going on with Friday. Yeah. There's probably bats involved. No, I'm more worried about brooms.
I know you're still more worried about brooms.
Yeah,
Death by
Nothing like-
broom.
nothing like traumatizing your friend.
Alright,
Hey, I
and
took a specific note in my notebook that says Destin died to a broom so I can bring it up later.
Alright. So with that, that was in the afternoon game. I'll see you later.
All right.
All right.
Go later.
Later.